Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Township of Wainfleet regular council meeting, February 25th, 2025, to order. Please stand for the national anthem. We would like to begin this meeting by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples, acknowledging the One Bowl and Spoon Treaty. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? I myself do have one disclosure of pecuniary interest regarding the school fundraiser, so I'll get back to that when we get there. Okay. Please note that these meeting proceedings are being broadcast live, recorded, and made available through the Township website and youtube.com. Our next regular council meeting is Tuesday, March 18th at 6:30 p.m. Are there any announcements or remarks from members of council? Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I'd just like to invite everyone, because it's a reading week, read a book, read something, that if you don't have a library card or you haven't been to our library, I'd invite you all to attend. It's great, it's well run, the staff are super, so come on over and visit us at the library and read a book. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. Any other remarks from any other members of council? Seeing none? Okay, we're going to move into the adoption of previous council minutes. So I have a motion that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held February 4th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councilor Anderson, Councilor Van Fleet, any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have no public meetings this evening. We have no delegations this evening. We have no items on the consent agenda this evening, so we're going to move right into the staff reports and recommendations. DSR 2-2025, respecting the Northeast Consolidated Drains number 2 and 4, engineering report update. Mr. Jamison, can you please provide a brief overview of your report?
Yes, thank you through you, Mr. Mayor, to all of council. So Drainage Staff Report 2 of 2025 provides an update on the Northeast Consolidated Drains 2 and 4, and it fulfills our obligations under Section 41 of the Drainage Act for the consideration of the engineering report. So following council direction from Drainage Staff Report 1 of 2025, notifications for this meeting were distributed through the mail to all involved property owners, and that went out on February 6th, 2025. Prior to tonight, I received 2 inquiries from property owners about the project, and I had some in-person discussions with Niagara Region about the project. So at this time, I will turn the meeting over to Brandon Widner, the engineer who has led the project thus far.
So good evening, everybody. Tonight we have the Northeast Consolidated Drains numbers 2 and 4. This is part of a drainage schematic just outside of the village here on Forks Road. The drain was previously done in 1971. We are also working on a drain adjacent to this, drain number 1, but this drain essentially starts at the Welland River. It heads south, crosses Forks Road, then crosses Overholt Road, and a couple on-open road allowances, which are opposite Tunnel Cliff and Deeks. That's drain number 2. Drain number 4 is a drain at the top end, which basically serves Forks Road. So we had a couple meetings on this project over the past, I guess, couple years now. So Essentially, we are looking for an improvement. We had the landowner at the top end systematically tile some farms. He needed additional depth. The municipality, I believe at the time, did some maintenance on the drain to try to alleviate the problem best they could. But the consensus was some of the culverts needed to be lowered. So we are looking at a full replacement of all the culverts on this drain, which include a culvert on Forks Road, which is a large portion of the project. As well as you'll see culvert replacements on Overholt Road, a number of the farms, and some on open road allowances. Total cost of this project is $625,000. There is some costs that have been spent with previous maintenance, which are also included, but that also includes all the administration allowances. That's the complete total. Again, much of the project is for replacing the culvert on Forks Road. What you're seeing installed there is a concrete box culvert, but that is much of the scope of the project. The rest is rather quite simple. But it was for additional deepening. You can see on the profile on page 2, we should be gaining the owners about 18 inches of depth on a large portion of the drain, and it should alleviate some of the problems at the top end. But I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any this evening.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from members of council? Councilman McClellan, go ahead.
You, Mr. Mayor. I know the region of Niagara has a culvert program where they go and do 25 or 30 culverts at a time. Have we talked to them to see if we could get this included in that program and see if we could maybe save some money, Mark?
Through Mr. Mayor to the councilor. So yeah, I spoke with the project manager yesterday about that, and we've been in discussions through this process, and it will be included on that list.
Thank you.
All right. Any other members of council? Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. Just sort of a technical interest question. When you deepen those drains by 18 inches or whatever, is there a percentage of extra increase of flow, like you increase flow runoff by 2% or 5%, or is that even something that's considered?
I guess the short answer is no, that's not considered. The consideration here for the depth, it's not so much for flow or capacity, it's simply to just get an outlet for the upstream land. So if you go to the page is up there now. Essentially, the farm at the top end of that profile is already tiled. He's systematically drained. He's drained directly to the bottom of the existing channel. That being said, anytime there's water in the ditch, all that backs up. So this drain is actually very flat at the top end. I believe it's a 0.05 grade for a couple of kilometers. That essentially, we're just trying to get him an outlet for something he's already constructed. What happens here is the farmer came in, he tiled as deep as the drain would allow, but that doesn't give him any freeboard, which is usually depth for the tiles to outlet into the drain, as well as there was a number of culverts on this drain which were higher than that elevation, so that's why you'd see ponding for excessive periods of time. Essentially, we reset all the culverts. All these culverts are then embedded, so essentially the drain bottom is not the bottom of the culvert. Culverts are embedded, so there should be dirt in the bottom of them for fish passage, etc. And that's what you're seeing here. So the depth on this project isn't for increased capacity. It's mainly just to pick up the outletting tiles. Sometimes you'll see us deepen a drain to get capacity, but this mainly isn't the case here.
Any other comments or questions from members of council? Okay, I'll turn it over to, are there any members of public who wish to provide any comment? Seeing none? Okay, is there any further discussion from members of council? Seeing none? Okay, so I have a motion that the Drainage Staff Report DSR 2/2025 respecting the Northeast Consolidated Drains 2 and 4 engineering report for consideration be received, and that a bylaw be given 2 readings to provisionally adopt the Northeast Consolidated Drains number 2 and 4 engineers report dated November 21st, 2024, prepared by Sprite Associates and Engineers and Architects under Section 4, Chapter D, 17 of the Drainage Act, RSO 1990. and that staff be directed to advance the Northeast Consolidated Drains Number 2 and 4 to that of the Court of Revision as per Section 46(1) of the Drainage Act RSO 1990, and that Councillor Anderson, Councillor McClellan, and Councillor Van Fleet be appointed as members of the Northeast Consolidated Drains Number 2 and 4 Court of Revision, and myself, Mayor Grant, be appointed as an alternate member to be tentatively scheduled for March 25th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor McClellan? Councillor Van Fleet? Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? 25th. Yeah. Opposed, and that is carried. Okay, moving into Public Works Staff Reports, PWSR 5, 2025, respecting correspondence request for Green Road North. Mr. Nan, can you please provide a brief overview of the report?
Good evening, Your Worship, members of council. This staff report is a follow-up to correspondence received by council on February 4th, 2025. Based on preliminary review of the road, the current road requires some widening and improvements to accommodate truck traffic. Based on the road's needs study approved by council, Green Road North was not identified as a priority for immediate improvements or an upgrade to an asphalt surface, as it was deemed to be adequate condition. Preliminary estimates for the road resurfacing are included in the report, as well as options and recommendations. I'm available for questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Nan. So I have a motion that Public Works Staff Report PWSR 5, 2025, respecting the correspondence request for Green Road North be received, and that council does not entertain the upgrade of Green Road North at this time, as it does not meet the criteria in the township's road needs study for the prioritizing future road rehabilitation. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor McClellan, Councillor Anderson, any discussion? Councillor Van Fleet, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Richard, thank you for the report.
That's it. All right. Okay, with that, I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Review of correspondence. We have 3 items of correspondence on the agenda for consideration this evening. Correspondence item C059, respecting governance review for the Niagara region. Councillor Gilmore requested to pull this item of correspondence for support. Does any member of council wish to make a motion of support? Councillor McClellan? Right. Just a basic motion of support then. All right. So I just need a seconder. Councillor Anderson. Councillor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Amber, when we submit this resolution back to Niagara as a support issue, I believe that my colleague wanted also that all the other townships and councils in the region also receive a copy of the said document. That's just a request. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor McClellan, you're okay with that? Okay, and Councillor Van Fleet?
Just a quick question. Didn't we do this already, beginning of last year and in 2019? We didn't do a governance review?
No.
So through the mayor to all of council, so the province has initiated some reviews on their end. This is Niagara Falls requesting, so it kind of got put on hold for political reasons at the provincial level. There is rumors or speculations, I suppose, that it might be resumed pending the outcome of the election. But this is Niagara Falls really wanting to drive that agenda in terms of having them make it a priority to focus on following the election.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor McClellan, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I would like anybody in the town to let us know what their thoughts are on this, right? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. All we want to do is get what's best for Wainfleet out of this deal, right? So maybe let us know, let the councilors know. Don't bother staff, don't chase them down. They're busy enough. But let us know what your thoughts are on this, so then when it does come time to vote, we'll know where we should be voting. That's all.
Very good. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Okay, moving on to the second correspondence item, C061, respecting the Marshville School fee waiver request. Councillor Van Fleet, I will pass the chair over to you at this time as I have a conflict.
Understand. Oh, okay. Okay. So can I have a mover and a seconder for this correspondence? Councillor Anderson, Councillor McCullen. Okay, any discussion? Oh, go Amber. Sure. Yes, we will support this. Yeah. So I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? We're good.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Van Fleet. We are going to move into correspondence item C062, respecting autism awareness proclamation request. Does any member of council wish to make a motion? Councillor Van Fleet. Obviously, motion to support. Can we get a seconder? Councillor Anderson. Any discussion? Councillor Van Fleet, of course.
So we get these proclamations every year, basically the same ones. Do we have to keep doing this every year, or can it just be a blanket over all of them? That have previously come to us.
I'll ask the deputy clerk.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, to all of council, that's based on our correspondence policy as it's currently written, that any requests for proclamation are automatically placed on the agenda. But if council wishes to make a motion to blanket approve certain ones or delegate that authority, like we do with the flag raising, the corresponding flag raising, we just automatically do. That would be fine.
Okay. I think that'd be a good idea, but I'd like to hear from my colleagues.
So we'll have to make a motion at a future meeting for that, put it together, and maybe do a report with the specific ones that we want to include?
We can certainly do that.
Okay.
The next meeting of council.
Yeah, okay, so we'll take
I'll
that as
take that
step.
as direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right, any other discussion? Oh, Councillor Anderson, go ahead.
I agree with the general thought on that policy, but I'd just like to make sure that every year we do certain ones, and we're certainly happy to do those. But I think the first time we get a new proclamation from a new issuant, that comes for approval. That just because someone asks, we just don't put them on that forever list. That's all, just within that. Thank you.
I was speaking of the ones that are repeated every year. So
I
any,
understood it the way.
Yeah, we could quite possibly do a yearly review. If we get several proclamation requests that are new in any given calendar year, we can review that at a yearly basis and see if we want to add those to this automatic renewal at that time, right? Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, any other discussion? No? Oh, okay, all in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that was at our last meeting that you missed. Yeah. Not a problem. Okay, so moving into bylaws. We have only one bylaw for consideration this evening, further to the drainage staff report. So I have a motion that bylaw number 4, 2025, being a bylaw to provide for drainage works in the Township of Wainfleet in the region of Niagara, be read a first and second time and be provisionally adopted this 25th day of February 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Anderson, Councillor McCullen, any discussion? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Opposed, and that is carried. So are there any notices of motion this evening? Seeing none, we have no closed session items this evening. So we will move into the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council. So I have a motion that the bylaw number 5, 2025, being a bylaw to adopt, ratify, and confirm the actions of the council at its regular meeting of council held February 25th, 2025, be read and passed this 25th day of February 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councilor McClellan, Councilor Anderson. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. There being no further business, the meeting is now adjourned.